All right, we're at part three here. Again, I'm Trevor Thrasher, former Green Beret, SWAT cop, street cop, and counterterrorism contractor. And we've been talking about the cycle of violence, what it is, what each stage of those cycles are, and how you can detect these things early. And now I'm going to talk, real briefly about what you can do about it. The first thing is early identification. So you want to identify those stages in the cycle that may indicate that somebody is contemplating an attack, and you need to get resources to those people. Now, early on, when it comes to predispositions, if you notice somebody that needs help, like they have a terrible family life, they need some type of assistance. It just is a society, we should find a way to help those people and help them as early as possible. Also, it's really tough, especially for younger kids who get bullied. They don't know what resources to turn to. And if they don't have good parents, they may not get the help. And we don't have the families that we used to have in the past. The family structure has really been broken down, and it's a huge problem for us. So we got to have a sense of community and a sense of family brought back to our society. Next, early internal and external reporting. So law enforcement was notified in about 40% of the times when somebody noticed these very concerning behaviors. But if you have a business or organization, one thing you have to do is have a climate where people feel safe reporting some of this to you. And that can be pretty difficult because nobody wants to basically feel like they're snitching on a coworker or somebody that they associate with. But they've got to feel that they can trust you with that information, that you'll do the right thing with it, and also consider some type of anonymous reporting. Now, that would be like internal in a business or an organization you're involved in. External reporting would be to the police. Now, we know there have been some really big failures on this. The FBI in particular has had to pay millions and millions of dollars to victims for dropping the ball on this, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't do it just because there are some failures. So if your concern level is very high and it's beyond the social ability to get people resources they need, if it's beyond the reporting you need to do internally, then go external and report these type of concerns to law enforcement as soon as possible. And they have some experts, or generally have some people that will try to do the best they can with the information you give them. Now, it's really tough because you can't arrest someone for a pre-crime, but you can certainly start investigating them and take some preliminary actions. As far as prevention strategies, it's good if you have an organization to have some type of threat assessment team so you can take a balanced approach to these. And then lastly, the number one missing link, I think, to a lot of this when it comes, especially to active threat type shooters, is mentorship. I've already said the family structure has been broken down. Well, on top of that, the mentorship structure has really been broken down in our society. And they did a study of people who were going to be school shooters or active shooters, or young kids, but they stopped just before the final attack. And during the interviews of these people, they discovered that they had just had one adult mentor that listened to them and gave them hope, that is what it was that stopped them from launching the attack. And actually, fairly recently, in a law enforcement capacity, I stopped a young man, ran his record, and he had a charge and a conviction for terroristic threats. And he was actually a very pleasant, productive young man and was very easy to deal with. And he was very honest with me and said it was because when he was younger and in school, he had some losses in his family. He was getting bullied and harassed at school, and he made threats to the students at his school and got arrested and convicted of the crime. And I just happened to ask him, I go, hey, did you really have a good mentor? And if you had one good mentor that you could have talked to, that would have listened and give you some hope, would you have made those threats against your fellow schoolmates? And he told me, absolutely, it would have stopped him from doing it. So don't neglect the power of mentorship. It's one of the big missing pieces in society. So there's some things you can do socially, organizationally, with law enforcement as part of a group for threat assessments. And then also, please don't miss out on being a mentor. If you have that opportunity, take someone under your wings and show them the right path. All right, there, go out and prepare. And once you take a bigger deep dive into the cycle of violence or the attack cycle and prepare yourself a little more for active threat events, there are a couple of products I have. One is the Threat Proof Family, which is basically a family emergency action plan, giving people the mindset, awareness, and skills to respond to an active threat or similar incident. And then I have the Active Threat Response Guide, which is good for adults or businesses that want to learn how they can protect themselves from these type of attacks. Check the link at the bottom. Take care, go out there, prepare, and be safe.